I saw my friend from high school for the first time today. I was at lunch with him in Santa Monica, and we were young, 10 maybe.
Warning. This program is intended for adults of legal drinking age. Whiskey is consumed and discussed. The intent is to educate our palates on the differences of whiskey flavors and not an intent to get drunk. Please drink responsibly.
Are we on? Are we live? Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to I Fucking Love Whiskey. My name's Andrew Pierce. I fucking love whiskey. As always, I'm here with my cohort, Mr. Joseph Limbaugh.
It is me. I am Joseph Limbaugh. I fucking love whiskey, and we're really excited to have our special guest.
Zak Kemble is
yeah.
here.
I'm Zach. I also fucking love whiskey.
Oh.
All right, that's our show. Bye, everybody.
We're super excited today because Zak has overachieved and brought us seven. Seven. I can count. It's good.
Zach is. What would you call yourself? You're like a professional whiskey influencer, kind of. But influencer is not really true because you're not really you're more like a sommelier, right? I mean, for whiskey.
I like whiskey a lot, and it went from liking it a lot to doing it for a living, and now it's
the dream.
Now
living
I'm here.
the dream.
Now I'm here.
But he has a lot of whiskeys, and he brought us some whiskeys, which is great.
Yeah, and we don't know what's in any of these glasses, so we're gonna do a little bit of blind, and then
You're gonna find how little we know about whiskey.
Yeah, and how little I know about it.
Wow.
To ignorance.
This is
also, this is the warm up. We started with this before the show started, and it's amazing. Whatever it is, we don't know what it is, but
it's got a delightful little nose. It's like a peppered steak in the palate for me. It's a very peppery.
It smells very summery to me. Like I feel like I'm outside at a barbecue or something, like a very clean barbecue. I mean, I always think of very abstract stuff when I smell. So
it's fun. Our smells and our tastes are all derived from memories that we have in our brains, which is why someone says this smells like a freshly opened thing of tennis balls. Mm-hmm. That's just how it works.
So I'm trying to remember what a freshly opened thing of tennis balls smells like. I don't play enough tennis.
That's fair. My dog likes tennis balls. That's all I know.
So your dog definitely knows that.
My dog, yes.
Dogs and smells are like, yes, they're into it.
Oh, hey, so if this is your first time joining us, the way the show works is we sample whiskey and talk nonsense.
I'm good at that.
Have I ruined it?
Yeah. No. What? You made it better.
Okay.
Well, I missed the show. I'm glad we're back.
I'm glad we're back too.
Yeah.
It's glad to have you here.
It's a little delayed. It was supposed to happen in November.
Yeah.
And I'm just bad at what I do, so I'm a little late. But they've been waiting for me this entire time.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. We had it in December, and then something happened with your career, and you were moving.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what? We're here. That's all that matters.
That's right. We've made it.
So good. So. Let us know in the chat what you're drinking, or what do you want Zak to say? Because
we got 5 people here in the chat, so there's someone watching the show somewhere. So
5 people.
Hello, people.
So if I was to guess on this,
I would love to hear.
I want to say Old Pulteney, but maybe not coastal enough.
Okay.
I would just say I think it's a Speyside, but that's like my generic guess. Like, I don't know.
You got a 50-50 shot of it being right.
I know, right? That's a good guess. Strategy. But I know I would say that, I think that's probably what it is. But I mean, that's still, even if you were really good, I feel like there's so many random variables there.
Okay. Well, just because this is our first.
You're going to show us this in Irish, isn't it?
This is actually a blended malt. It's a 21-year-old. It's Blackbull, so it is one of the brands that I support and I work with. But it's 50% alcohol, 21 years old, and it is a blended. It's a little bit higher in ABV. There's a little bit more work put into it. It's not just a bunch of random stuff dumped in.
This is one of the best blended scotches I have ever had. That's really good.
So, and I wanted to bring it simply because I'm the type of person where, like I said earlier, don't judge a whiskey by what's on the front. Drink the whiskey, enjoy it, judge it for what you're drinking and what you're smelling and tasting, not for what the marketing says or does or what other people say or do. Old Pulteney or Speyside, you're both wrong by a lot.
By a lot.
That's okay.
By a lot.
It's kind of a cheat code because you can't get the blend unless you just say, it's some kind of blend. But No, I think it's a great whiskey. It's not something nice to warm up with. So
I really like it. Yeah. I want to buy some, honestly. Like,
yes,
it's a
Mission Liquors has some.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm serious. That is one of the best blended scotches I think I've ever had. And I've had some pretty good ones.
Kano might have some too.
Yeah.
So so that was the first. Like I said, just something. I don't have much under 50% at home, at least not that I see all the time. So that's going to be our lowest ABV of the night, if that helps.
Okay, down. So we're probably going cask strength on a lot of things here,
right.
or
and being wrong out of the gate is great because you're going to see more.
You can only go up from here.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like you can't get any more wrong.
We can't get any more wrong. That's right. That's
one of these we're going to be like, wow, this is absinthe. I think I'm pretty sure
this is a red wine. I
pretty
swear,
sure this is a very brown red wine.
This is actually a sherry. This is not whiskey.
Wow. I thought it was sherry.
News to me.
This is such a sherry whiskey. All right, so this is our first whiskey.
It's our first official whiskey.
Yeah. So they don't know what they're drinking, but I only have one glass. So I'm going to be bouncing on and off camera just to pour my whiskey so they're still blind to what they're drinking.
Right, and we're going to not look.
Yes.
We're not going to see what it is.
Oh, I love this nose.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Nice floral sweetness.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is like a field up, full of flowers, like just wildflowers out in the sun. And sweetness, like there's like maybe a candy store nearby.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, but there's something also down under there. There's like that candy store has some like dark caramel, just a little bit, a hint of. Wow. Oh man, I love this nose. Just based on the nose, I would say this is my favorite whiskey, but we'll see when I taste it what I'll say, which is probably that it's my favorite whiskey.
You're gonna go in?
Yeah, sure.
It's
we got seven. We got seven to go through, so. Favorite whiskey. Oh my God.
Favorite whiskey.
That nose was so amazing.
Oh,
but
man.
the taste, this rarely happens, but to me, the tasting it was better than the nose.
Yeah. That was.
No, we haven't done the show. We haven't done the show in a while, so maybe these are all going to be my favorite whiskey because I haven't really sat down to have some amazing whiskeys in a while. But I think this is really good. It does have a weird little bit of a funkiness at the end. Like the finish has a weird that I'm not super fond of. That's the only note that I would be like. Okay. But overall, that's an awesome experience.
It's almost like a metallic note as it goes down on your palate.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah,
silver.
But the taste,
I was going to say aluminum, but sure.
The nose is like up here and all light and like, flowery, but the taste is kind of deeper. It's like that field of flowers you found like a cavern into a dwarf fortress, below it.
I was thinking, whatever, I don't know what movies it's in, but when you see like melted metal and it's like those silver droplets, like those metallic droplets, when I see those, obviously I've never tasted one, that finish is kind of what I think of.
So yeah, Terminator 2. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah,
So
I
Terminator.
think that's like what it would taste like if I were to lick it.
Like it kind of reminds me of the smell of soldering.
Okay.
If you've ever, because that is exactly that sort of melted metal.
I've not done that before. I'm not very good with anything. Maybe video games, whiskey I'm pretty good with, but don't ask me to do anything that fixes something because it'll probably be more broken than when I started.
Wow. Well, you brought us whiskey, so I think you're good at everything.
The important thing.
Yeah, right? You're good at bringing whiskey, so.
All right, so line these whiskeys up here so you guys can see them as we go.
Will they show up on the camera? I don't think they.
I don't think so.
Quite.
It's a short bottle. Don't make fun of it.
Never.
It's not the size of the bottle.
Oh, I guess I should show it to people. So they can see, Well, this is the first one. This is the Blackbull 21.
That's to warm up. Oh my God, this is so good.
It's my favorite whiskey. I know I've said it before.
It really is.
And you'll say it again.
I'm gonna say I don't think I want to put water in this. I feel like it's gonna mess it up with water.
Oh yeah, see here, I'll add water to wine and tell you if you should or not.
Okay.
I'll be the test dummy.
Just get a baseline here.
I do feel like that is one of the good things. Like the one thing I'm good at is knowing whether you're going to give us a hint by which water you choose, though. You know that.
Maybe he's not. He doesn't care.
Maybe he doesn't care.
It's not going to be an Isla water
Yeah, it's definitely
It's
not
the first whiskey of the night.
Right.
So.
This is definitely not an Isla.
And we do know the peaty stuff is at the end of this run. You did tell us that.
Yes,
so. But I mean,
that's how you
obviously-
should typically do your taste. That's just a generalization, but maybe some Bunnahabhain you can throw in there because it's typically unpeated. But
Yeah. Or some Brookline.
I added like, I mean, I'll have that at any part of any tasting. It's just personal.
Well,
I will say you are putting Spey water in
water
here, and
in
I
this
would have guessed that this is a Highland. Would have been my guess, but
Well, the only other options are Isla or Campbeltown.
right.
So
yeah, well,
those are both going to go at the end.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you don't have the water that goes in this too. Maybe we don't have it here.
That
You
could be
know?
it. Well, you've
I
got
don't have
LA
Irish
tap
water or Japanese water
Oh,
or
damn.
Australian
Oh
water.
wait, are you saying this could be one of those?
There's no Taiwanese water or Indian water.
I mean, fair enough. But
It could be.
There's no Washington water or Oregon water.
this tastes like a Scotch to me, unless some other regions.
I don't think
I don't
it's going to
know.
be.
This is not Irish.
I don't think it is. I don't think I've ever asked this question, but Irish whiskeys, do they have corn in them?
They could,
They can.
but they're
But do they generally? Like,
no,
I
they're triple distilled, so it's a much more refined, cleaner palate.
right.
So you'll get a lot more of those like honeys and lighter, fresh fruit notes.
This one presents really friendly and fights your tongue going down at
Mhm.
the end. It's a real rough.
With water, the nose gets very clean and crisp and fruity.
All right, here I go.
Yeah.
You're not even going to use the Spey water. You're just putting random water.
I
in
put it
there.
random because I don't know it's Spey. I don't want
That's good Los Angeles
Right.
tap water.
It's
lead
been
and
filtered.
asbestos.
It's been filtered twice.
Oh.
Once from the sink and then again through the filter.
to through the drain in the sink. Is that where?
No, but my faucet has a filter.
He opens up the sink, undoes the tube, and then he just lets it run in, and then he filters it.
Yeah, makes sense.
It was filtered through the drain one.
There's more than one way to do science. By the way,
Okay.
these are my cats. One of them might show up at one point, but we'll see.
The nose gets a little softer here. So, I would go maybe a Highland, because it's a little too rough for what I consider in the Spey region.
With the water, I will say it gets a little bit more abrasive on the tongue, a little bit more ethanol, like some caramel notes, maybe some like burnt toffee, but it's a little hotter with the water. I think it's had the opposite effect of what water typically does.
Oh
So
yeah, that's a spicy meatball.
So would you say, would you like the water or?
I
do you say
prefer
no?
it without the water.
Say no on the water. Yeah.
Say no to water, kids.
And I missed Thad not doing tasting notes in the show. So I will say, like, Thad, I want, if you want to, a fun game would be like, based on what we say, can you guess what this is? I think that would be fun. If you want to play, but you don't have to, just so you're part of the show. No press.
You should
I
guess
mean,
without any knowledge, taste, smell, just off of what we three rejects say about the whiskey in our price.
Well, I
If
guess
it got-
also Thad's watching the show. Anyway, go ahead.
If it got lighter with water on the nose and fiery on the palate, my guess would be to be one of the Glen or around one of the Glen distilleries.
Okay. So you are guessing more of a Speyside then.
Yeah, I'd say
Okay.
Speyside, or it's on that weird like little crossover region, depending on what map you look at between Spey and Highland.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I guess we can reveal it now, right?
Yeah,
We've
well,
all tasted
technically,
it enough.
Speyside is in the Highlands, so
That is true.
it's all crossover. But
What do we got?
this is a Deanston and a Palo Cortado cask. So a nice dry sherry. It has been opened for probably 3.5 years. So there has been some lesser fond notes of the sweet candy-like whiskey that it was when it was first opened. But it's a nice dry sherry. Deanston does a lot in terms of
Yeah,
put it up.
Camera.
in terms of
I don't think
cask
I've ever
exploration.
had a Deanston.
I'm for a few, but
I don't think we've ever had one on the
no,
show.
the show, no.
So I've definitely never had one.
I don't think I've ever purchased.
But it is Highland, so
It is a
I
Highland thing,
feel like
yeah.
I nailed that.
Does it? I don't think this one gives tasting notes. It is unchill filtered and cask strength, and this baby comes in at 55.4%. There were only 492 bottles of this.
And clearly, based on what is in this bottle,
Someone likes it.
someone likes this.
I told
whiskey.
you it's been open for a while. So
Well, still,
let's see. This one it reads Enjoy the smooth scent of honey, dried fruit, and citrus with deep hints of cappuccino and licorice.
Yeah.
And then it says, pour,
Okay.
sip, and savor luscious grape, dried fruit, and honey flavors, ending on a treacle toffee note. Oh, I got the toffee, right?
They love to put treacle in there.
Yeah. Relish the long, lingering taste of honey and dried fruit. I'm assuming that's the finish.
Well, this is, yeah, it's phenomenal. It's really good.
Well, I guess it's a good start.
It's a good start.
It's a good start, but I'm sure we have some amazing. We should probably, I guess we should move forward
We should
already.
move forward, yeah, just time-wise here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, on to number 2 then. You guys better get going.
Okay.
Already.
It's my favorite whiskey.
We have 5 more, including this one. So let me get
Yeah, this is my favorite whiskey.
Oh, leather and
This is like an entire, like, it's like a study with leather and old books everywhere, but except the entire study is made out of caramel, like the dark caramel, like it's somehow it's caramel leather. Everything is.
And you've mistakenly sat down and now you're stuck.
You're stuck, but you're okay with it because you're kind of licking the chair and smelling the chair. And there's a fire with like logs of caramel inside of the fire, and marshmallows.
And maybe a little bit of dad's cologne still lingering on something.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna say this is probably a sherry.
Oh, looks like bourbon.
I guess it could be. It could be. I don't know.
All that sweetness.
It's so sweet though. Like if it's got to have at least some sherry influence, or like maybe a
brandy, even
maybe a brandy, or like a port. Maybe I don't know. This because it really reminds me of like an Abelauer. This.
Okay.
It's that super sweet. It's like candy store. Like I always say something's a candy store whiskey, but it's like that rich, like it's just so like soft and rich and deep.
You're about to sip it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
I have a feeling you guys might not get any right. Because
we're not going to get any right.
I look at my whiskeys now and I'm like, these aren't all direct guesses. Like
I don't care if I
the
get
bottlings, the releases, what they are. I tried to pick stuff that I knew I would enjoy as we drank.
Well, that's
what we wanted. We asked you to do. Like that's what if people bring whiskey, I want to know what they like.
Yeah,
I don't want them to try to give me something.
All my whiskey is for sharing. It's the best. It's best tasted share. There's no once you open a bottle, there's no value on it anymore. It's just
can't sell it.
It's a share. Like that's what it's here for.
Now, this like the taste to me is completely different than the nose. Like I really like it. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite whiskey. I'm gonna say it's close to.
Okay.
But the taste is like a little more it's a little more harsh. Like the nose is so sweet and rich and deep, like you're going down a log flume full of like molten caramel. But the taste is like you kind of like smash into a lake of like rocky crystalline sugar. So
okay.
Nick in the chat is just saying he loves the Deanston.
He is. Nick actually has I believe it's a Deanston hand fill at home. Am I right, Nick? And it's in Burgundy casks that I think you said you'll put my name on until I get there again.
Wow.
I just need confirmation from him.
Right. I need confirmation because he said the same thing to us when we were on the show.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Oh no, I was at his house and he put it in my face and said next time. I said, "Can I think next time?"
Tipsy Asparagus says yesterday was National Irish Whiskey Day.
Oh,
wait, in America? National Irish Whiskey Day would mean that it's.
He says, I say a lot of stuff when I'm drunk.
Wow. I would get over there.
I'm not hanging out with you anymore, Nick. All right? They're drinking all my whiskey.
Don't.
No, I meant that. I'm stone sober.
Yeah, I love this nose. I like the taste, but the taste is not my favorite. Like it's got like a real bite to it, a real edge. It's fire. It's like it's I said it was like a lake of hard candy. It's like a lake of like caramel on fire. That's what it's like. It's burny.
Ooh.
But I like it. I just like the nose is so good and inviting.
Yeah. I have no guess on where this is from, except it's not one of the islands. That's the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess if I had to, and I'm not just doing this because, as Zach mentioned, I don't know if he mentioned it after the show, but it's like Speyside is 50%. But I would say this is a Speyside if I had to guess. But that's
okay. Okay.
And just because of the taste profile here, I would go with like something like Glendronach or something like that. But
okay. Well, did you guys want me to tell you already?
Let's have a look.
I don't think it's an Abelauer. It reminds me of what I said, but
if it's an Abelauer, you're gonna dance for joy.
I'm not like I am. I'm horrible at guessing what whiskeys are from the smell and taste.
Well, this one is a fine Christmas malt from the Whiskey Exchange.
Oh.
It is a Speyside. It's a 17-year-old. It comes at 58.7%. It does not tell you what it is. It might be out there. But just from the color alone, I'm going to assume it was a sherry cask. And if you're trying to taste Christmas, you want that like Christmas cake and all those spices and the sherry notes.
Get that.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it's a sherry cask. But this one is from 2018. And as you can see, I quite enjoy this one. I've ever released from them.
Bring it in a little bit so we can all see the bottle. I love it. A Christmas malt, right?
Yep, a fine Christmas malt.
That's great. I love that. It's like because that's one of the things I love about SMWS is they have the fancy names. That's a cool.
Yeah, and
like,
that's a yearly release,
name,
and it's different every year.
Really?
Sometimes it's a single malt, sometimes it's a blend.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
the
Whiskey Exchange is a shop in London. It was started by a couple of brothers. They actually just sold off, but it is probably one of the most beautiful whiskey shops you'll ever see in your life. It is massive. So if you want to walk into a candy store, a literal candy store.
What's it called again?
The Whiskey Exchange.
The Whiskey Exchange. Have you been there?
I have not been there. I've not been to London. Not been there.
I've not been in the store, but of the pictures I've seen, it looks like
I've ordered a few things from them, but once the shipping kicks in, it's like, okay, that's not such a great deal anymore. So.
Well, yeah. So there you go. That was number 3. We've got 4 more.
Anyone putting water in this?
No.
Yeah, I'll put this aside and we'll move forward.
We don't. I mean, Thad's the one that needs to do it.
Oh wait, we didn't have Thad guess on that one. Let's remember to do that.
Okay. Hey, Thad, guess.
What do you think this is, Thad?
I think it might be a Speyside around like 50, 7% ish, and like perhaps the Whiskey Exchange put it out.
Oh, he's good. We do need to have him on the show.
Yeah.
Next time, Thad,
hire that guy.
You on the show.
Hire that guy. Don't bring me anymore.
Just as a voice, though. It'll just be a voice. Next show we do.
When I put this up on YouTube, I'm going to edit it so that segment comes before the reveal, and Thad's going to look like a genius.
Everybody knows Thad's a genius.
All right, where are we going here? Hi, Mo.
So this is whiskey number 3.
Hey, Mo. Mo whiskey, Mo problems.
Mo whiskey, less problems.
Oh, true.
Oh, Zach, this is my favorite whiskey too.
Yeah, man. You're
spoiling us.
You're batting a lot of favorites here today.
Doing my best, okay? I need another invite, so.
I'll just do it every week.
Well, I mean, we should have you back on the show, and then we provide the whiskeys because I know,
and then I get to get them all wrong.
Oh, right? We could do that, or we could just tell you what they are. I mean,
that's true too.
That's how we normally do the show.
Usually a secret.
Yeah. I was just from my perspective, like I said at the beginning here, drinking whiskey is meant to be enjoyed and shared, and that's the best part of it. But at the same time, and especially nowadays with TikToks and Instagram and everything.
Thanks, Dad. Do you want to lick your hand first before you? Anyway, sorry.
No.
But the TikToks and Instagrams, go ahead.
It's just your marketing takes a big turn and it adjusts the way people look at things. So to be able to taste things before you know what they are doesn't necessarily mean you need to guess it right or whatever. It just allows you to appreciate what's in the glass, whether you like it or not, because at the end of the day, there's 2 ways to go on whiskey. You either like it or you don't like it. And that's it. So this is just a fun way, something fun, like if you're sitting at home and you want to try whiskey and you want to kind of not judge it, have your partner, have your friend come over and pour you a glass, bring it to you, and you just see what it is, enjoy it, and then have them tell you what it is, because in that way, you're now going to look at whiskeys different.
Biased.
No. Yeah. So
I do want to correct you on one thing.
There's 3 ways to look at whiskey. I agree with you. Yeah. You can like it, you can not like it, or you can fucking love it.
And that's it for the day.
Yeah, bye, everyone. Bye, Zach. Just to add a little more granularity to the continuum of fucking loving whiskey.
That's
just
fair.
At one end and then the other end.
That's fair. You know what? I have been corrected.
This is not a binary show. This is an analog show.
I'm glad we're simpatico there. All right, I'm going.
As soon as he said it, I know we both were.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not true.
That ain't true. Just wait for him to stop talking. Just wait for him to stop talking.
That's fair.
No, but
Everything I said is null and void. They are correct.
No, everything else was valid, and I loved it about the TikTok and the marketing. That's absolutely 100% true. And I love the idea of giving a whiskey to someone and letting them taste it, because I do, like, we have a lot of people on the show who they're scared that they're going to get it wrong, or they, because they feel like whiskey's this elevated, special, magical thing, and it's for rich people and who sit in a, and that's
I'm not rich.
I'm not people. Yeah. What? I'm Soylent Green. Anyway, yeah, no, we want it to be enjoyed by everybody.
Yeah. One thing that helped me enjoy whiskey a lot too is, obviously I do this for a living. I've worked in the industry, in spirits industry. I actually came from wine and went into whiskey now for 7 years. I think 2017. It was just something that fascinated me, being able to taste stuff. I smoked cigars a lot before that. I was always fascinated by how people taste things that are, it's tobacco in a roll, it's grain and water in a glass. How do you get all these flavors beyond, obviously, science? And, obviously I've been biased towards brands because they're great marketing, or the color of the whiskey, or as time went on and I learned more. When I started enjoying whiskey the most was when I stopped caring about what it was and started drinking it for what the distillery made it to be. If you come out with a Springbank sherry cask, like, it's not going to taste like a bourbon barrel long row. The whole point is for it to be what it is. Same with the Glenmorangie, the La Santa. It's not meant to be a single cask at 58% in a first fill PX cask. It's like, no, it's a nice entry to sherry whiskeys at a low price point, marketed to consumers because it's a lower ABV. And once I stopped wanting everything to taste the way I wanted it to, my palate just kind of opened up, and I started enjoying things a lot more. So, not to go on a rant, but that's a
good rant, though. I love it.
It's good meant to, you're drinking it, have fun, enjoy it, and stop trying to make everything taste the way you want it to.
Yeah,
great. So I love that. I love all that.
And I think we would add, like, there's no wrong tasting notes. Like, whatever you're tasting is what you're tasting. So I hate people that correct you about, no, I think you're saying you taste caramel.
This has vanilla in it. No. That's supposed to have vanilla. I read the pamphlet. I'm getting it wrong.
This is a place for rants. We appreciate rants. So
we're a ranty zone.
Okay, this is definitely my favorite whiskey.
Smells great. Smells dope.
It really does.
Did we talk about it before or after?
Yeah, it was before. Yeah. This tastes pretty rad.
Yeah, man, it's really based. I don't know.
Her legs are just never ending.
This really pipes it. Oh, it spits you out the end.
It is streets ahead for sure.
It's a gnarly ride.
Brah.
This is probably way funnier to us.
It really is. This is an inside joke from before the show started. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's like how people in LA drink whiskey. We're all the same.
We're all the same. Yeah. I love Dramsplain's handle too. Dramsplain.
Yeah.
He is Dramsplaining it to me.
Yeah. If he just stopped changing it.
He should change it to Kiwi Splain.
Oh.
That's racist. Or is it?
He's only 6'7". He can't beat me up.
I mean, I almost want to say this is like a bourbon. Is that crazy?
No. Hey, Mo likes dope with his whiskey.
Right. Or her.
Her whiskey. Mm-hmm. I don't. It messes up my palate.
I think Mo's just dope.
Dope person. I don't know you, Mo, but you sound pretty dope.
Mo's dope, from what I know.
That is an insight. This might be. Could be a bourbon.
Yeah. Okay. I think it might be a bourbon. Mostly because recently it's just because I was in Kentucky recently. I drank a lot of bourbon there of different types, and
pretty dark could be.
Yeah.
Nice fresh American oak. Do you want to add water?
I'm gonna add water. Yeah. I think I'm
gonna
add a lot of corn in this. I don't know.
I don't know. It could be a really high proof MGP or like a high rye blend.
Your rye, maybe a Kentucky.
Oh yeah, it could be a rye. Okay. Now I feel like it might be a rye. I rubber. I'm gonna put it in your water. Okay. I don't know why I'm doing this.
He's gonna stick his dropper in your water.
Bing. It's your dropper and your water.
He's gonna stick your dropper in your water. That's talent.
That's why people need the big bucks.
I'll tell you the brand.
Oh, it's definitely like sweeter with water.
Mm.
Yeah, it's fruitier, I think, a little more.
Mm-hmm.
A little more burn on the end, though.
I don't the rye bite in this. I don't know.
Thad, what do you think this is?
Yeah.
Thad, you have more experience than the rest of us. What do you think it is?
Whiskey.
You know, from what I can smell, it's pretty sweet. So, you know, if I had to go, I'm gonna go with that Campbeltown.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
let us reveal the secret.
they're all really wrong.
Oh, it's an SMWS.
This is cask 68.52. It is a Blair Athol.
There.
And it was not actually started in an ex-Oloroso butt and finished in a first fill PX butt. So this is a double sherry matured scotch from very far away from bourbon land. But it does come in at 58.8%, which could be what's bringing that heat. And that first fill XPX, but though it is a butt, there's not that much contact with the wood. But their tasting notes read aromas of chocolate brownies, toffee, and coffee were followed by notes of chocolate mousse and banana bread. When diluted, nuances of red velvet choc cherry cupcake. Sounds like something straight off of the Great British Baking Show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which I'm very much a fan of.
It's a good show.
And this is in their deep, rich, and dried fruits profile. If you guys want to take a look.
Yeah, I really like it. It's so interesting. I think it's just that, you know, when we've done blind tastings before, someone always throws a bourbon in there, and then I was like, this is probably a bourbon.
Mo thought it was a cognac.
Yeah. Well,
I did not bring any of those, unfortunately.
kind of a sommelier, so you can smell it.
I wouldn't know a cognac. I feel like I would be able to tell the difference.
I don't know.
Bring an Armagnac on. Armagnac will surprise you. Armagnac is
Really
great.
I haven't drank a lot of cognacs.
I kind of got an Armagnac kick back in Toronto, way back in the days.
So it's a fun, especially nowadays, it's a fun little comparison because of the differences that they can play with in terms of grape varietals, their still types. Cognacs you can't use. This, you know, it's one still.
regulated.
I think 3 grape varietals, very regulated. However, if you go into Armagnac, you leave the region of Cognac and you can use multiple still types. I think it's 6 grape varietals. Mo can correct me. But it allows for just that much more. It's like single grain to single malts. Single malt is very safe and they have regulations, whereas single grain, you can use multiple grain types. You can use a continuous still. Aging is just changed, it's cheaper. But the flavors, because you're not stuck with malted barley in a pot still, you now have many other flavors that can be brought into the mix. It's kind of how Armagnac works. And you have brandy, which is, I think, a lot sweeter. But I don't drink a lot of brandy. We made out of apples or pears or
Right, and other kind of sugars for it. My buddy Peter Levesque went to a bachelor party with me in Orlando, and he has a bunch of Armagnac, and then he Armagnac'd in my car.
Oh, yum!
Yeah.
So you don't like the smell of Armagnac, I'm assuming.
Not so much anymore.
Armagnac'd.
Not
now schnapps is kind of similar to brandy, isn't it? Is it not?
I don't do schnapps. So
oh, really?
Not 100%. I don't drink a lot. Fun story. I own 300 bottles of whiskey, but I don't drink a lot.
Well, but you know your fucking booze is. Like, you just went off on like a great deal of detail about like cognac and Armagnac. I don't know. It just was interesting. Yeah.
But all right. Well, are we on to number 5?
I think we're on number 5.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now this is my favorite whiskey right here.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. Where am I?
We're back to Candy Store Town. That's also like,
is it maybe a light peat in here?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little smoky, a little smoky or a little peaty, but like, didn't you say it's the last 2 were peat? So this did have peat in it.
I don't know.
But if it did, it would be like a Highland peat. I mean, it's very mild.
Yeah, Talisker came to mind on the nose.
Definitely a little bit of smoke in there, even if it's not peaty. Yeah, it's got the little bit of that campfire.
Did we mention it's our favorite whiskey?
Yeah, I haven't even tasted it yet.
All right.
I'm gonna guess it's my favorite.
All right.
This is my favorite whiskey.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good. It's smooth and just deep. It's like fires underground.
I have a feeling this has become a little oxidized.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's been open for a while.
How much? Like what percentage of the bottle is left in there? About like that.
Probably in between those two.
Okay. Yeah, Andrew transfers all of his, like when he gets down, he transfers them into a smaller bottle.
Yeah. Well, my thing is I'm really impatient. So like I said, I have about 300 bottles of whiskey at home and 0 of them are closed. So as soon as I get them, I open them and I pour something. So they tend to sit in the cabinets for quite a while. And then when I see it, I have ADHD. If I'm not seeing it, I'm not thinking of it. So the 95% of them that are in the cabinets below with no glass front, I don't see. The ones in the top, I've had to readjust. So I have 6 shelves. Each shelf is like peat, sherry. One is Blair Athol. We can talk about that later. One has a favorite distillery. Yeah. One's blends, one's American, and then one's like internationals. Beyond that, and there's like 10 bottles or something on each, and they're the lowest ones. So basically, now I'm only drinking from those, so they don't become oxidized anymore. Yeah, and then when one's gone, then I pull something out from under and replace it, and this
you have a system.
And now, as of like 3 weeks ago.
Well, right. I had to resort to a whiskey wheel to force me to go to bottles that I hadn't visited. So just randomly picks a bottle from my collection and goes, oh, and then I have to go hunt for it.
And that's kind of what this show is too. Like he uses a random number.
Mine is
random.org. We got your number, buddy.
Yeah. Mine is random.org. So I have 6 shelves and I go to it and I do 1 through 6. And I cycle through that 3 times. And whatever the third number is, I go to that shelf and then I go, row 1 through 5. And then I go, is it A or B? So then I do a coin toss in the last one. But that allows me to drink from whatever is up there at a random number instead of picking the same 3 bottles over and over again.
Good idea. Okay.
This is like a deeply roasted marshmallow to me. Like you know how it's not quite burnt, but it's like roasted to the point where
it's like brown, not
the
black.
Darkest brown you can get without being black down. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
I fucking love whiskey.
Oh, it is fun to have a show where we're all together in the same space.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. COVID.
Hey, as of the other day, it has officially ended in California. So,
well,
yeah, right.
So officially,
that's how
I didn't say scientifically.
That's how diseases work. Yeah.
That's how the world.
The emergency is over, right? Charlotte. Yeah, I don't think this is a Charlotte though. Although I do.
I feel like that's been up there for a while, though. I think is that this one, or
I thought the Mo typed it just as we started nosing this. I
really like this. This is one of the standout ones, and I've liked everything we've had so far, but this is pretty standout.
That water's pretty good too. That double distilled water.
It is, yeah, it's good water. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
You're putting water in already?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Zach, you guess too. Yeah, what's your guess?
Let's see. I would probably have to guess Oban.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay.
So you've got so much information to go on. I think that's
doing great.
Yeah.
And just so the viewers are aware, Thad doesn't get his whiskeys until Monday. So his guesses are
they're sitting in sample bottles like over there. He has not tasted or smelled any of
that. Was my fault because I have been very busy, so I have not been able to.
We're all partially
the way off. Yeah. I've only had 6 months to do so, and it's still hasn't.
It was a busy 6
months. We live a massive 15 minutes away from each other.
No, we're 7 minutes away from each other.
I could have walked here and back on my hands.
Is like farther east, though. He's like 20 minutes away.
That's a long time in LA.
Yeah. Especially coming down that 101.
An unnamed Orkney?
Oh.
I'm a whiskey psychic. I'm a whiskey drinker.
He missed psychic and Nick. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Hey, Nick, that's a business idea. Psych Nick. Write it down.
Right there.
It's like a TV show. I solve crimes. I'm Psych Nick.
We don't have enough of those. No CSIs or NCISs. Psych Nick's a new one.
All right.
Wow, the water really opened it up and removed a lot of the alcohol.
Yeah.
A lot fruitier.
You like the water?
I do not like the water.
You don't like the water.
It turned it into like a fruit drink instead of a
Yeah.
whiskey. It's really
It's
weird.
not my favorite.
That's so. It just a tiny drop of water does that much. It's so
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Mm.
All right, let's not keep us in suspense.
Yeah,
any
what
longer
is this?
here.
So this is one of my favorite whiskeys.
Uh-huh.
This is a Springbank 12-year-old Burgundy cask.
Oh my God. Burgundy cask.
So this is
Okay.
a bottle that came out about 7 or 8 years ago. 2016, right there. And it comes out at 53.5%, obviously being a Springbank. But I believe it was aged in the Burgundy cask for all 12
years.
And it's a first fill Burgundy. And for those that don't know, Burgundy is going to be Pinot Noir, which brings a lot more fruit than, let's say, cabs or things like that to whiskey. It's nice and light and red fruity. And I always kick myself because years ago, I got to put a custom order in at a whiskey shop to order me a case of these. And he was selling them to me at $75 a bottle. And now if I wanted this, it'd be $400 a bottle.
Mhm.
However, the issue was when I ordered it, it was in Tampa, about an hour and a half away. And I was working so much, I didn't have the opportunity to go out there. So by the time I called him a few weeks later to go get it, he had already sold them all.
Oh, for sure.
So
Like, as soon
that
as
is
someone
why
tastes this, they're gonna buy.
That
it.
is why this has been sitting for so long, is because it's my second bottle I had to get at an auction from Europe to continue with. So this is my last one. I'll probably never buy it again. I don't typically buy bottles of whiskey more than once, just because there's so much
There's
out
so
there.
much to taste, yeah.
There's very few, just because they're so good. But yeah, this one.
And you got to imagine somewhere there's a case of these that's new, like a new, like, because they're making so much of it. Somewhere there's a hidden case of like delightful whiskeys that one of us could grab. And I just want to like a couple things in my brain. I just want to like pin this smell and this taste, because so rarely do I get a wine cask whiskey, and especially Pinot Noir. And I didn't know that Burgundy was Pinot Noir. That's super interesting.
Red Burgundy. Yep.
Yeah, and I just want to like because I
yummy.
was tasting this and smelling it, and I couldn't I didn't guess on what this was, because I was like, this is interesting and awesome, and I don't know what it is. And I think that's why it's outside of my circle of what I normally taste. Like I've definitely had wine cask whiskeys before, but it's like so rarely that, and I always love them.
I love Burgundy casks, so I buy as many Burgundy casks with.
It's really cool.
That's a new one on me as well.
Yeah.
But Springbank does great stuff when they put it in wine casks.
Yeah.
Like a Long Row Red. I just won one at
The Tawny Port.
no, this was a Pinot Noir.
Oh yeah, is the fresh Pinot Noir. I think they had 2 or 3 Pinot Noirs that they came out with.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they came out with them in different years, but they're all good.
I love the
all
K&L
Long Row
lottery.
reds. Yeah,
I got
There's
it.
that long row that you out of the Infinity cask, right? That's
Yo.
that's one of my favorite whiskeys.
It was
Yeah.
phenomenal. Just a little cistern or whatever, they have the glass jar at the shop that they filled. What's going on
He
here?
said, "I have a cage bottle Springbank Burgundy. Forget the promise of a Deanston. You're on. I'll be there next week. Actually,
We'll all be there.
I drive up on Tuesday, Nick. I'll be in East Bay on Wednesday. Write it down.
All righty, number
Number
thank
6.
you. Lost track of numbers.
That means he's
Guys,
having a good
This is number
time.
6.
So
Number Nick 6.
Nick 6.
And Mr. Nick. And here we are. We're at Peat Town.
Yeah. This is an old tractor that's just rusting in a field. There's still a lot of grease on it.
Yeah, it's like a old rubber tire that's been sitting there. Like it's an inner tube, like a tire, not an inner tube, but the outside of the tire. Although it could be an inner tube, like you're going down a river on an inner tube, or an old tire that's sitting in a field and there's like water inside of it. Like the outside of the tire.
No, I don't know what he's talking about.
Smells great.
This
Yeah, it really
smells
does.
really-
This is my favorite whiskey. Again. This is such a subtle peat too. I love that. Like it's just real. It's just a nice, like peat is like that. If you like peat, like it goes all over the place. But this is like nice to the side, right in the pocket. At least the nose. I haven't tasted it yet.
Pete's one of those things, though. It's also a guy. It's also a cat on Disney. But Pete is one of those things that it has such a spectrum. even if you just stick an Isla, if you don't go to your, Speyside or Highland peat or Canadian peat, whatever it is, peat has such a massive spectrum of what it could taste like and smell like. But if you don't like peat, it all tastes and smells the exact same, and it's terrible. So when you start to understand it, I hated peat for the longest time. And I had to force myself to enjoy it simply because of the fact that it's my job and I had to learn. And until I finally understood peat, I didn't realize that the vast flavor profile or spectrum that it could actually have, because I just never gave it a chance. And so now being able to see the different levels of peat and how it interacts with different whiskeys, it's so cool.
We've opened people up to peat. We've gotten people who are not peat heads into it. Both of us in multiple occasions, and it's just finding an entrance in a place where it's like, oh, this is it, and you get them to taste it. I think a blind tasting is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
If you can find the right peaty whiskey, because they'll be like, oh, this is great. What is this? And you're like, oh, it's a Lefroy. It's like probably not like an actual Lefroy, but like something from like SMWS or whatever. But then you can get them to enjoy it. But
took me a while, took me months, but I did it.
Well, yeah, when I started really getting into scotches, it was with a Lefroy, so I right away.
Well, it's a love it or hate it. I know people that don't even drink whiskey, but they love peat. They're like, oh, I love a Lagavulin 16, and I'm like, great, good for you. I don't, but I'm glad. Like that's their intro to whiskey, and that's what they love, and that's what they like.
I'd had whiskey before, but Lag 16 was my eye opener. It was like, liquid can taste like that.
I think mine was some sherry Lefroy. Someone was like, listen, get into peat, either do something like Highland peats or even just get American peat. It's not focusing on massive grossness and like tractors and
American peat. And you also mentioned Canadian peat.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So American-wise, Westland up in Seattle has a release.
We've had
every
some of those
year.
On the show. All right, okay.
Yeah. Where every year they'll release a different, be it a local barley from a local farm or a different peat style. There's only so much peat in Scotland, but yeah. And I don't know exactly where or who uses Canadian peat, but I know people use it because it's there. You need it. It's peat.
I wonder if, I feel like there should be peated whiskey in New Orleans because there's a lot of swamps down there. I don't know if that's, I'm just shooting into the wind, but I just feel like there's probably peat down there.
Yeah, probably. I'm not a scientist. So I'm not that great at that stuff. So I just know peat is a lot of dead earth matter. That's
it's like swamp that's old, right?
It just compacts into bricks. Well, you cut it into bricks. It just compacts into dirt.
It's on its way to becoming coal.
Yeah, or oil.
Oh man, this is good.
It really is. This is honestly, this is one of my favorite peated whiskeys. It's really phenomenal because the peat is so subtle and at the edge, it's like
shit. Sherry peat got me into peat, and I'm just looking at a color.
Are you saying this is sherry peat? Is that a hint for us, or
no? It's just how it got me into it. It was Lefroy. Someone recommended I tried the Lefroy 27, I think it was. And I was like, yeah, let me just go grab that Lefroy 27 off of my shelf that I don't have. But I did get a sample of it. Someone was very nice enough to share with me. And I was like, wow, shit's really good.
Well, after 27 years, I'm imagining the peat level was pretty low.
But it was still there. So I got to very easily just little climb one step at a time.
That's what I would say. I definitely think this is a little bit of an older whiskey because the peat is so subtle. That would be
and guess. I'm not going to Isla on this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, although this could be it could be an Octomore, even though it's so subtle, it certainly could be because some of the more recent Octomores, but I think this is something that, based on where we are, this has got to be something. Now I'm metagaming, but this is something that Zak's had for a while, and he's like, this is one of my favorite peats. So it's definitely, I think it's probably older than that.
I'm going to go to the Isle of Mull and say this is probably a Lecheg.
Oh, yeah, it could be a Lecheg. I like that.
Thad, what do you think?
Got a Bowie here. Maybe he'll come up and join us.
Buddy.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Andrew and just say it is a Lecheg, or I guess technically Longmorn owned Lecheg before they went out.
All right, no, it's distillery,
just Tobermory distillery.
Oh, yes.
Distillery, Tobermory.
Same distillery, just Lecheg is the peated line of it.
I blanked.
Well, one thing I do know for sure I fucking love whiskey.
That's fair. That's fair.
Seems
There's a constant here tonight, and it's that we fucking love whiskey.
It might be that.
So
I'm
this
not trying
one,
water in this.
Yeah, me
this
neither.
one,
Yeah,
funny
that's what we
enough,
got.
is another brand that I do represent. However, I brought it for this exact reason, in that I said drink it for what it is, and not for any of the marketing.
I love it.
This is a no age statement Glasgow peated. It is matured in virgin oak and then finished in PX sherry casks. It is non-chill filtered. There is no coloring, and it is a cool 46% alcohol. And
Dude, you're blowing my mind right now. This is an amazing fucking whiskey.
And it's only like $50.
But 1770.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, it's a newer distillery. They didn't open and start their first stuff until 2014. And obviously being that they don't even have any 10-year-old stock in the warehouse. It's all theirs. They don't import. They don't use anything. This isn't an MGP situation. It is phenomenal. And obviously being that it is in PX is a gooier, sweeter sherry than like an old Rosso or Palo Cortado. It just works so well. And, you know, they have 3 lines. They have the original, then they have their triple distilled, and they have this guy. And then they do a lot of wine cask explorations in small batches is what they call them. And so, yeah, this is not something I've had for a long time, but I love them. And
I do feel like this is that thing where it's like, if you could have access, maybe do buy a case of it. Like, because this is, I'm blown away. I think it's pretty amazing, and it's like they're gonna. I'm assuming they will soon be like their bottles will probably be more expensive at some point. This is an amazing whiskey.
Yeah. So this is what I meant by, you know, I don't sell to consumers, so I'm not selling you guys anything. But this is just something that, for me, if you don't know about it, how are you supposed to be able to drink it? This doesn't have we don't market this everywhere. We don't throw it up on every billboard. We don't pay a bunch of bars to put it on their bar and their cocktails.
Well, it is still like, I think, a specific taste, because like not everyone likes peat.
This is also
like,
true.
you know what I mean? If you like peat, like this is fucking amazing.
Really
and $50 a bottle is really good. So.
Yeah. So, and this can be found, at least in California, at Mission, at K&L, at, you know, most every liquor store. I bought this one from K&L. And it's just one of those things that, for me, again, $50, maybe $60, depends where you live. It's approachable in cost. It's not high. It's only a 46%. It has sherry on it, so it's approachable.
This is
that, like, I'm even more glad that we had you on the show, because there's at least 2 whiskeys here that I'm going to like buy. And I don't have a lot of money, so I don't buy whiskey often. But it's like that's what I'm looking for, is like, where's like an affordable whiskey that hasn't become popular yet, you know, but is really good. Like Ugadal used to be like that, but now Ugadal is like $90 a bottle. You know what I mean? But it used to be less. But you know, so I don't know.
They might be sold out, but out in San Francisco now.
At some point, PC5 was like that, right? PC5 was like, you know, $60 a bottle, and now it's, you know.
Oh yeah, I think it was probably 20, but still, yeah.
A lot of stuff used to be like that. Anything Springbank used to be like that.
Springbank is becoming like the Macallan of.
But Springbank doesn't do it to themselves. They're the only distillery that still does everything beginning to end on one site on premise.
Malty floor there.
Yeah. But they're just not upping their product. They're not going to change the way their quality works just to appease our demand. But I appreciate that. You know,
this is really good.
Buddy,
that's okay. That's okay. Come on, buddy. That's okay. Cat digging his claws in my leg. That's fine.
Sorry, I do need to trim it.
It's all fine.
Trim his nails.
He gave up.
But we do have one more.
Okay. I thank you for introducing this. This is why these shows are popular, is because you get this wide variety of sampling that you couldn't normally do for the price of just inviting Zach on your show.
Yeah, my whiskey's free. Charging anybody.
Same with us. So I'm coming back.
Yeah. So, well, the beauty of it is always more. And I also do have a triple distilled and an original. So if you want to taste those,
I do.
You can always taste this. They're not here, but you can taste them the next time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Zach.
All right.
On to the last one. And I hope you understand why I changed the order. So, you know, Thad, when you eat yours, this next whiskey is your whiskey number 5. This one that we just did was not included.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. Oh, there it is. My favorite whiskey.
I know that tune. I know that music.
I wrote that too.
Well, this is like peaty, but also like a sherry cask. I feel like this is like a sherry cask peaty whiskey because it's got. Maybe I'm wrong. It's certainly peaty.
It's very pale.
Is this the Sherry Lefroy?
27-year-old Sherry Lefroy.
I don't own that bottle. So kind of tastes like, smells like cheeseburgers.
Yeah, it does. Like a nice, like a completely
Like a charred,
greasy,
like a charred, yeah.
like with like a
Not like an In-N-Out though. I love In-N-Out.
It's not like
but it's like a backyard barbecue. You threw the patty on the grill. There's grill marks. There's
the cheese
grill marks
are melting over the side, and burning on the grill.
Sesame seeds on the bun or
toasted.
In
the menu, the cheeseburger he makes in the menu. That's what it smells like. I really love that movie. By the way. The menu is such a great movie. Have you guys seen it?
I don't know.
Just
out recently on streaming.
Recently, then no, not yet. But I'll watch when I get home.
Been out for a few months. It's like it's kind of like a comedy horror movie about foodies and class warfare. I guess,
okay.
I'm just gonna be over here alone for a minute. This whiskey.
All right. This is my favorite whiskey, but it's also the most favorite whiskey we've had today. This is fucking amazing.
Oh God, damn it! That finish.
Camphor balls and
goes forever.
Burning bicycles. Hi, buddy. What's going on? Got a cat staring at me.
Yeah, it's almost time to feed him, so he's wondering why I'm over here.
And his water bowl will be full of whiskey today. It's not me. So
I would not do that.
Don't do that.
Do not recommend.
I do not support that.
Oh my God, that's a fucking amazing.
That's a fucking amazing.
What is this? Like, I want to know what this is.
I get a little barnyard in the nose.
Yeah.
Let's just hear random guesses.
Yeah.
You know what? I can bring the bottle out early this time. Just give me a guess. I want to hear it.
I think it's a Lefroy. That's my guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could be a Lecheg, but it's Isla.
I don't know if anybody out there has been keeping count or track of how many they've gotten right.
Oh, I have none.
And if you have been, then let me tell you this. I fucking love whiskey.
There's 3 goose eggs across the board right now.
I got the Speyside in the Highland earlier.
You had 20% chance of guessing.
So the Glasgow, where is it from?
Glasgow.
So, oh my God. So it's okay.
Glaswegian distillery, yeah.
Okay.
A Ouija. I don't know. I'm so far off base now. I feel like anything I guess is gonna.
I just want to guess. You gotta guess.
I'm just guessing because it's like because it's
part of the game. He's like, screw this. I'm just.
Okay,
I mean,
it could be It could.
I'm ruling in Orkney. I don't think this is an Orkney.
Okay.
I think it's Isla.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Okay.
It could be
Talisker again.
It could be Kalila even, because that has such a wide flavor profile. But Lefroy is probably what I would guess.
Campbeltown gets their peat from Isla though too. So
okay.
That could be a Glen
Sounds like this
is
a Japanese sherry. It's not a whiskey at all.
That's not gonna be true. It's actually a Pinot Grigio.
This is the cognac. That's the one.
All right, yeah. Tell us what it is.
I know. I need
I had to guess. Damn it.
You have 5 seconds.
Kilholman.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good guess. Oh, I might.
Is it?
That's a good guess.
No.
They're both wrong. Bad guess.
Okay.
I kind of knew it.
So this is.
Octomore.
This is 13.2. It is an Oloroso cask.
Okay.
And we've had this.
I should have guessed that. I really should have.
Yeah. It's only 58.3%.
I forgot they did an Oloroso Octomore though. That's what it is.
The 2 series of Octomores are always cask exploration, so you'll see all the wines, sherry casks and whatnot.
I just realized I didn't taste it. I think if I'd tasted it, I would have gotten a piece of Brook Laddie's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you could catch a pretty consistent thing here, but you've got Palo Cortado sherry, you've got Oloroso sherry, you've got PX and Oloroso, you've got Burgundy, PX, and Oloroso.
Are you
You
saying
like wine and sherry casks?
I do. I really like wine casks. It's my thing. It doesn't even need to be sherry. I just love wine casks. I love the different stuff. I love being able to have all those different flavors. And don't get me wrong, I love just a refilled bourbon cask scotch. Just give me a classic, you know, scotch style. You know, the what you're focusing on is the distillate itself, not the cask maturation, not the wood. But I really like wine casks. So
it's one of the reasons why I was excited to have you on the show, Zach, because you have such a refined palate. And listening to you talk about whiskey, like you're grabbing like flavors that I don't necessarily always have access to. But I do feel like wine casks are so precise. They have these really interesting, cool, crinkly flavors that you don't get in like, you know, like just a straight, you know, bourbon cask or whatever. And so, yeah, I want to travel along your footsteps. Thank you for bringing me in your journey.
By all means. I mean, something coming from, you know, wine background and learning how to taste, everything you smell or everything you taste is coming from your nose. You have receptors in your nose that when you smell, as you drink it, that's what you taste. So that's why when you hold your nose and you taste something, you're only going to taste things that are like very sugary, very sour, because that is from your tongue. Right? So a lot of times people don't understand that it is literally very individual to what you taste, because it's all coming from memories of things that you've had in the past or smelled or tasted, like, you know, grandma's closet or the tennis balls or anything really. Those are all things that your brain, your nose is connected directly to your brain. So when you smell something, it can stay up here. When you taste something, it's coming from the smell of your nose, and then you're tasting it. And your brain is remembering where you smelled it that one time, or a memory that you've connected to, a very fond memory,
and
maybe.
Then it replays it,
and that's not what you're tasting. So a lot of people are like, you know, I'm not. You might smell vanilla, I might not, but it doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong. It's just a matter of some people taste things differently than others. So descriptors are something really fun to get is something that I used to do to train my palate. Is anytime you go in the kitchen, grab a spice. Open the spice and smell it. And over time, you're going to start understanding what that spice smell is. And it's not to be right. This is simply just to know or give yourself more information when you smell and you taste. You can say, oh, this is the difference between, you know, cinnamon and coriander and any other spice. Exactly.
You're building a map of the territory.
You are literally building a map of flavors and smells and tastes. So then when you go to taste things, you are now understanding this isn't wine. Wine is literally like, this is the roadmap, and this is what you follow. You know, Cabernet from Napa in Slate on 40-year-old vines is going to taste different, you know, 100 yards down the road where you're on more of a mountainside and you have a different style of soil, and sunlight and rain hits it differently. Your vines might be much younger. Like, it is scientific into how you taste and smell and you do things, whereas whiskey is not. It's very much explorative. You're very much relying a lot on oak, like yeast strains and distillation times, and your fermentation times can obviously change the bulk of the spirit. But beyond that, even adding water when you're proofing down whiskey, you're removing a lot of those you know, molecules when you flash freeze it or you add water to it and break it up. But it's all just a personal journey. You taste all the whiskey you want, and you eventually build up the palate of, do I like it? Do I not like it? But you just train your palate. It's just like anything else. It's a muscle. You're just training. It's not a muscle. You're training your palate like you would train a muscle, just over and over again. And you start to find things that
you're just adding more data points.
Exactly.
Yeah. And more descriptors. And
you know what? I just want to say, I fucking love Zach.
I fucking love Zach.
That's not the name of the show. So I fucking love whiskey.
Okay.
I mean,
well, two things came to me while you're saying that. It's like, so when I'm picking my nose, I'm actually petting my brain.
Yes.
Okay, good. And also, that's a lot of scientific stuff you laid on us, which was fantastic. And also, the second thing I wanted to just point out is that I fucking love whiskey.
Yes. As do I, as I said before. I fucking love whiskey too. But no, I really like wine casks just because I like those flavors. They're familiar. So if you don't drink a lot of whiskey, you know, trying things with like sherry casks and bringing familiar flavors to your palate, like red fruits or spices, things that you've probably eaten before. Whereas if you just get too much into maybe bourbon casks or refill casks, where a lot of that flavor is coming from the malts, those aren't familiar, you know, flavors or tastes or smells to people that don't drink whiskey all the time like we do.
Right.
So these are just a lot more fun. They're a lot more noticeable. You can describe what you're tasting probably a little bit better than if I just did 7 different bourbon casks. Then you're really guessing distilleries because at that point you're trying to guess what their new make tastes like, how long their fermentation times are. Is it going to be a, do they have downward facing line arms? Are they upward facing? Is there regurgitation? Like you can get real scientific and nerdy about it. But
what is the worm tub like?
Exactly. So, it's just one of those things that it's a lot of fun. It's easy, and they're all a little bit different for the most part. I think.
I think I've learned more during this show than I've learned on any episode. Like I feel like I'm 10 times smarter about. Thanks, Zach, for being on the show.
Well, I just remember part of it.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it when I'm sober.
So, sommeliers, wine sommeliers, everybody sees them as their job is to pour wine and to serve and whatever. But the biggest connection is a wine sommelier is there to take all of that information that is not necessary for normal consumers to know, break it down, and layman's term it to you while you're sitting at this table at dinner saying, this is what I want to taste and this is the food I'm ordering. Great. Now I'm going to dig into my library of knowledge and break it down so you don't have to, because that's my job. And I always try and do that when it comes to like whiskey. Is my job is not here to tell you things or tell you what's right or what's wrong or tell you how to taste whiskey. It's to try and bridge the gap of maybe I do it for a living. My knowledge might just be a little bit deeper simply because I do it all the time, and translate that into a more fun, welcoming, friendly environment. And I don't know if I do it very well.
You're
but
really good.
I'll
be honest. You're really good at it, Zach. Yeah,
that's what I try to do, and that's why I love this industry. Is I get to do this. This is a lot of fun. This is stuff like this doesn't feel like work. So I get to sit down and have fun and shoot the shit and share something that I'm very passionate about, whether I'm in the industry or not. I love whiskey. I fucking love whiskey. I love spirits. I love wines. So being able to share that with others and my passion and my excitement and enthusiasm for it is what keeps me wanting to do it more and more. So
I feel like our question is going to be so anticlimactic now because
I need to know the question because they already dangled it in my face.
That answer is like so much better than like any I feel like he already pre-answered the question.
Well, we might change
that we always ask.
Yeah, please.
All right,
please. So I'm going to be asked a question now, and I'm going to answer it.
All right. Well, I just wanted to point out that Mo got our psych Nick got all of the whiskeys right tonight, which I think is fantastic.
And Thad, do you have any final words?
He's speechless.
He's crying right
now. It's great to be back. Thanks for coming on the show, Zach. Great to have you. Can't wait to finally actually try these whiskeys when I get a chance. And yeah.
All right, let's ask the question.
Okay. It feels wrong to break the frivolity.
It's anticlimactic. It's anticlimactic after that monologue, that delightful monologue.
This is completeness theory. We need to
ask the question. Ask it.
And if this is too personal, you don't need to answer this question.
You can just walk out of frame if it's too personal.
Yeah, just leave that. So what we want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
All right, it's fine. It's fine, man. Sorry. So Zach, you've shared these whiskeys with us, and we just want to know, do you like whiskey?
That's a tough question. It's hard. You see, there's kind of layers to it. So I kind of I fuck with it. I love on it, but I really fucking love it. So you take the layers and you just sandwich them together, with a good old PB&J that you just wrap in aluminum foil and then you sit on it all day, and then it just becomes ingrained into one. I just fucking love it.
See, I think that was worth the ask.
It was worth the ask. I'm so glad you're on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great time. Yeah,
this is so nice of you to come and bring this lovely whiskey for us to sample and then see just how bad we are guessing anything. Although I think Joseph got one of the regions right.
I got 2 of the regions right.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
In the T and C's here, I just want to say I'm just as bad at guessing whiskeys. So I don't want to. I just want to put that out there that there's no discrepancy here in our abilities to guess what I'm drinking right now.
It is quite hard, I think, to for a lot of drinks to know.
Well, and especially when there's single cask expressions, it's you're just at a loss. Yeah. So this is so awesome.
Hey, there was only one
single
expression.
Cask.
Okay.
All right.
Let's all call them small batches, if anything, of all of them, but except this one and that one.
Right.
which are available now.
They are.
And congratulations on your new job.
Thank you. Thank you.
We also found out that Zach was a hockey player. You can look up his career and the stats online. It's pretty incredible.
I wasn't very good, but I was there.
Yeah.
I did it.
Can we play your character in the Sega NHL?
No,
Oh,
that was my goal. Not yet. I tried. I was too long
You
ago.
said not yet. So I feel like you're still going for it.
It was too long ago when I did it. It was 2012, and they didn't have the lower leagues in there yet.
See,
Maybe now. So maybe in the next 5-10 years. No, not that long. I'd be too old. Let's call it 5 years, and then I might be in there.
I think you're thinking you're going to be that Zamboni driver that gets pulled in.
Yes.
Both backup goalies got sick.
I'm the mascot. So they have to put me in the game. You just won't see my face or my name.
Good enough.
I'm just saying.
Could be Kingsley. We don't know.
And then you're going to see me on the ice with a glass of whiskey.
This is so good.
Thaddeus, thank you for being awesome as always. Zach, thanks for being on the show. Our chat guests, thank you for being such great psychnics. And also, you just sold out 1770, I heard, in Cadell in San Francisco. It's gone.
Oh, good.
It's gone.
Good. Thanks, Nick. You're keeping me in business.
Anyways, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Thanks. How am I supposed to smile and stay? Still frame.